Moving by trike. Here we go. Yo, 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 what's up, YouTube fam? It's your boy, Richie Rich, coming back at you with another video. We got clips to you today talking about black men who have just checked out of dating and some of whom just refuse to date black women. I'm not one of those men, but for those who are, I understand. Let's get into this clip. But before we do, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button so you get our next video when it pops off. First clip.
I live on my own, have my own car, make about $70,000 a year, and don't have any kids. So I'll never ask for what I can't offer. And as far as what I'm bringing to the table, I bring me, and you can't sit with it.
Look, all those things are great. All those things are phenomenal. You got your own job, your own car. But look, we're adults. You're supposed to have your own job. None of these things are a flex. So I don't understand why people are coming out talking about these simple things that everyone should be doing as an adult. Next clip.
Now, if she said black women hold the highest degrees in difficulty, undesirability, masculinity, obesity, and single motherhood rates, that would have been accurate.
I've dated plenty of black girls before that were feminine and submissive and weren't a headache, but I've dated a lot. I've dealt with a lot that were headaches, and I've come to realize in that culture, unfortunately, it's championed to be strong and independent and not respect male authority.
This is my experience. I love to give women compliments. I ain't no hater. 9 times out of 10, I will be met with a scowl. The woman might not even respond. If she does respond, it's like, thanks. So when I watch these men, I'm watching it with a different lens. I'm watching it with the lens of, hey, listen, I know what I encounter dealing with these women when I'm out just saying hi or whatever. And I see why men feel the way they do. And I'm going to be discussing a number of things, why black men are walking away. I'm also going to be playing some of the videos from several men on YouTube who are just being very candid about why they don't date black women. And I'm going to give my personal take about why that is the case as well. So let's just jump right in.
So I want to put this out there that I am not one of those black men who won't date black women. I think black women are beautiful, or just as beautiful, if not in a lot of cases, more beautiful than a lot of other women. Again, when I look at my sisters, I'm a little spoiled because I grew up around very beautiful black women. My sisters are beautiful. So I'm not one of those men who says, I ain't dating black women. However, when you talk about the certain traits and certain characteristics that a lot of black women have, I do have to agree with them. And as far as the point she made about how black women respond, I can definitely agree with this. I mean, I think everybody out there, especially in the US, has walked by a black woman who looked just angry as hell, just angry at the world. And if you say anything to them about it, I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe you a smile. Why I got to smile for you? You don't have to. But you know what? When you talk about why black men don't approach you, I can't understand why they don't approach you. Or maybe I can.
There are 2 pertinent issues that she's failed to address. First being that this isn't the typical standard criteria, qualities, or credentials that black women seek out in mates. We've seen the type of men that they lust after, copulate with, and reproduce.
They love Pookie Ray Ray. They love Chad. They love the thugs. They love the bad boys. Women always talk about the bad boys. They want the adventure. They want the excitement, but they don't want what goes with it. Pookie's good looking. Pookie's exciting. Ray Ray's hot, right? He's got that big D, right? And he know how to throw it down. I get all that stuff. But look, when you get what you get, now you're going to complain about where's all the good men. The good men are all around you. You ignore them. You pretend like they don't exist because they're not 6 foot. They don't make 6 figures, or they don't have 6 this or 6 that, because they don't give you the tingles like Pookie, Chad, and Ray Ray do.
We also see the type of men that they tend to reject, which just so happens to be many of the black men who would actually fit the criteria on this list. They'll walk around singing every good girl needs a little thug, every boy needs a little love. Not every queen needs a man with a degree, no felonies, or babies. And considering the fact that they're the least desired, least likely to get married, least likely to ever be married, least likely to get remarried, and have the highest rates of marriage instability, as well as the lowest interracial marriage rates, it's going to be extremely difficult. Because the overwhelming majority of men in other cultures do not want to deal with a black woman's attitude.
That shit's real, just based on my own personal experience. And no, that doesn't mean every black woman, because not every black woman has a bad attitude. However, there's a large enough number where we know it's real. We know it's a thing. And the fact is, a lot of men just don't want to deal with it. Black, white, or otherwise. The funny thing is, I hear some black women saying, "Oh, I'll date outside my race. I'll date white men. White men, they might smash you. But if black men ain't keeping you, you can bet your sweet ass a white man is not taking you home to meet his family. He is not introducing you to mom and pops and brothers and sisters with your funky ass attitude. So you can throw that shit away and put that somewhere else. That's not going to happen. But he'll smash you though." Next clip.
Now, I know a lot of women, black women, might get offended by what he said, but there was a lot of truth in that. Even in my own friend circle, like there'd be wonderful guys, well-to-do guys. And when I say well-to-do guys, I don't mean they're well off. They might be working a bank job. They might be working a government job. They may be working a private company job. You know, they want to be home some evenings. They don't want to be out clubbing all the time. And I've seen like some of the women in like, who I know in my past circles, who would be like, I don't want to be boring and this, that, and the next. And I'm not saying you have to settle for a boring guy, but a lot of them are quick to just say, I don't want to be with that kind of guy. He's not as exciting to me. And when you look at the guys who they do go for, these are guys who they're problematic.
Exactly. So for me, at this stage in my life, when I hear a woman even mention the word boring or say he's boring, I immediately put her to the smash side, right? Recreational use only. She's looking for excitement. She's looking for adventure. I'll give you that. I'll give you 30 minutes of great adventure. But as far as keeping you or putting you on my arm or introducing you to my family, it's not going to happen.
They give them drama. And it's like they get excitement from the drama. They don't get excitement from the stability of being with a good dude who doesn't have drama with a baby mother or violent or any of that stuff. Men get passed up all the time by black women because they feel like they're corny or they're whack or they're just not exciting and all that stuff. And then I see those same women will get upset when a black man starts dating a Filipina girl or a white girl, a Japanese girl, a Dominican girl, whatever. Like they get super upset and like, you didn't want him. So what's the big deal here? We get upset when men keep saying we're difficult. It's just immediately dismissed. But I think at some point we have to kind of sit down and think about, are we being difficult? What are we doing that's giving everybody this impression? Maybe it is us.
You're being difficult. That's what you're doing. It is y'all. A lot of black men, and especially white men or men of other races, they're not trying to deal with y'all. They just ain't trying to deal with y'all.
This is not something that just black men say. Let me just tell you. But I've seen white guys saying, like, I don't want to deal with it. They just seem so mannish. Or they seem so aggressive. Like if I want to talk to one, like it's just like I have a hard time. And you know what the black women in the comment section, some of them will say, oh, it's not my fault that you are scared to approach us or you need to man up to approach us. And it's like, you're missing the entire point.
You're missing the whole point. If someone's scared to approach you, you're doing something wrong. You are putting out bad energy. My father used to always say this, everybody can't be wrong. You got multiple people from multiple groups saying the same thing about you. Maybe it's time to look at yourself. It's you. When you're scowling, you're frowning, you got a sharp tongue, you want to argue, you want to debate, you want to be combative, you don't want to cook, you don't want to clean. Well, then why would somebody want you? Why does somebody want you when they can have other choices, whether it's somebody white, not for me, but whether it's somebody white, whether it's somebody Asian, Filipino, Thai, or Hispanic, the Latina women are beautiful.
This is my experience. I'm a woman. I love to give women compliments. I ain't no hater. If I see a woman who looks good, I will say, oh my God, ma'am, you're so beautiful. Or I love your, don't let it be some big hair. Like I love big afro hair. Like I go crazy for that, right? So if I see a black girl with natural hair, I'm like, your hair is so pretty. Like, what do you use? Da, 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 da. If you smell good, I'm going to tell you smell good. I want to know what it is because I'm going to buy my perfume.
I love a woman that smells good. I'm a sucker. I am a sucker for a woman that smells good. I hear you, baby. I hear you.
I'm just saying, if I see you, you look good from head to toe, whatever, I'm going to tell you. As a woman, I'm going to tell you. I will be met with a scowl. The woman might not even respond. If she does respond, it's like, thanks. Like I owed her the compliment or,
If that's how they talk to other women, if that's how they treat other women, imagine how they treat men. Imagine how they treat the men, right? That's why people don't want to, ain't trying to hear you no more. That's why people are getting their passports and going abroad.
It gets to the point where I second guess saying to another black woman, you look beautiful, you look great. Because, and this has been my experience 9 times out of 10, if I talk to 30 women, if I tell 30 women they look good, you better believe 3 of them have responded favorably in return. So when I watch these men, I'm watching it with a different lens. I'm watching it with the lens of, hey, listen, I know what I encounter dealing with these women when I'm out just saying hi or whatever. And I see why men feel the way they do. But when these men are saying, hey, y'all just too much drama and all that stuff, we really need to be listening. Let's go to the next video. Listen for the recurring theme, ladies and gentlemen.
But people don't want to hear it. People want to, they too insecure. They ain't strong enough. They ain't man enough. They can't deal with us. Why would I want to deal with you? Anyway, let's get on to this next clip.
Let's go.
It appears that a lot of black men who do well financially, they tend to gravitate towards non-black women. But the reason why black women are complaining about the black men who date non-black women is because it's that top 6%. And the reasons are obvious, because the average black woman as a collective, they're uncooperative, they're masculine. Even beautiful black women are masculine. And dude, we ain't trying to put up with that, man.
Wow.
That's the recurring theme for me, is the men that you want, they don't want you. That top 10% man, he don't want you because he don't want the trouble. He don't want the drama. He don't want the smoke. He wants peace. He wants love, and he wants to enjoy his life. He ain't trying to deal with you.
Again, this recurring theme of women being masculine and uncooperative. I think that masculine energy comes from somewhere, and here's where I think it comes from. You have a lot of women who are being reared in homes without their fathers there. I was one of those people who was raised in a home, a single parent household. So I didn't have my father in the house. Luckily, I had access to uncles and other people, other men who were there to kind of like guide me. But a lot of women don't have that. And so they're used to seeing their mothers be the mummy and the daddy. And as a result, a lot of them, this is my take on this. You can have your own take. I don't, that's your choice. I don't care. But I find that a lot of them are so accustomed to seeing their mothers doing the work of a woman and a man that they emulate that sort of stuff. And then it becomes this thing where it's like, I don't need a man to do that stuff. Now, I don't go around saying I don't need a man to do it, but you show it through your actions, right?
And she's on point. Shout out to the single moms who have held it down for their kids, been great parents to their kids, who have done mom's job and tried to do dad's job. But it is important to recognize what you're teaching your kids. Are you teaching your kid, especially your daughters, that you don't need a man? Because wouldn't it be great if your daughter met a man that she respected, admired, loved, and wanted to be with, and he treated her the same way, and that they could have a happy relationship? But that's what we're getting in our culture, is we're getting these single moms telling their daughters, telling their children that, teaching their children that. And what do you think the daughter's going to do? She's going to emulate what she's seen in her mom.
But I think that's where that energy comes from, because women have had to do it. And whose fault is that? I feel like it's the fault of the man who was not in the household.
Wrong. How about it's the fault of the woman who chose that man who's not in the household? How about it's the fault of the woman who opened her legs to that man who skated up inside of her, knowing that he wasn't shit, knowing he was a dog, knowing he was a F-boy, and not giving a damn because he was good looking or because he was exciting, he was adventurous. Now you stuck on stupid with a kid because of your badass decisions. Sorry, baby, I can't give you that. I'll accept some of the responsibility because, look, we still have a choice. You can nut outside of somebody. You can wear a condom. You can even abstain. But don't put all that on men. Definitely don't put that on men, because we can't do nothing unless you open your legs and give it to us. Otherwise, it's a whole different category of stuff that most men don't want nothing to do with, because that'll land you in prison.
If the man was not in the home to show a woman, like, hey, this is my role as the man to take care of these things so your mother can be okay, then she's going to grow up emulating what she sees, which is the mother who is being both mom and dad. Choose better. Make better choices in men. As you yourself said earlier, choose better. I find it kind of contradictory, to be honest. I like her videos. She's really cool. I agree with a lot of stuff she says, but I feel like that statement was contradictory, because on one hand, you're saying,
You're talking about the men that black women choose earlier in this video. But now you're saying it's the fault of men because they don't stick around. But if you're messing with F-boys, why would you expect him to stick around?
First question was, how do I feel about black women? And to answer that, the reason why I don't date them a lot of the times isn't necessarily because of the way that they look. It's because a lot of the behaviors is championed in that community. Now, with that said, I've dated plenty of black girls before that were feminine and submissive and weren't a headache, but I've dated a lot. I've dealt with a lot that were headaches. And I've come to realize in that culture, unfortunately, it's championed to be strong and independent and not respect male authority in the black community because a lot of them are fatherless, and since they're fatherless, they don't have that masculine authority to let them know, hey, you need to follow a man's lead. Women, a lot of the times from black communities, unfortunately, grew up in a single mother household where she tells them, then she has a sister that says, the music perpetuates.
Like I
and then
said,
what
trauma.
ends up happening is they grow up and then they don't have a general respect for men. And then they meet you, and then you get a lot of those toxic traits coming into you because they weren't naturally taught how to be a lady. They were very masculinized since birth because they didn't have a man figure.
Wait, let me just tell him this. Let me just say this. You're absolutely right.
He's on point. He is on point. Bottom line is you get some women who are masculine. They're toxic. Look, I hear women say, look, if a man is a good leader, then I'll fall into my submissive, my feminine role. No, you won't, because it's not who you are. And look, if you don't believe he's a good leader, dump him and keep it pushing, right? You don't think he's a good leader. If you don't think he is on his game, why are you making babies with this man? There's a lot I agree with here.
Without me even hearing Myron's take, that was my take.
What's your age?
So your mom should have told you don't ask a female how old she is.
What? This is how you start in our conversation. But look, again, I'll point this out. Look at these two girls. Both of them are good-looking young ladies, but look at the energy. Look at the energy they're bringing with that.
Why is that a problem, though?
Because I'm old.
You're not old. You're seasoned. You're vintage.
Okay, I'm 34.
And you?
33.
That's not even old. What is she talking about?
Are you ladies single?
I'm very much single.
You're going to stay single, too.
Do you feel like dating is more challenging as a black woman than it would to be any woman of a lighter skin tone?
Nope. Because I get Caucasian men, I get Asian men, I get...
Did she say Caucasian?
She said Caucasian. She really... I can see why you're single. Because you might be cute. You're calling white people Caucasian. Right.
It's on the census. Caucasian.
Because I get Caucasian men, I get Asian men, I get African American men, I get all types of different ethnic groups.
You get all types of men to do what? To smash? Hell yeah. Put me on the list for next Tuesday and I'll be there at 6 o'clock. But to wife you, to put you on my arm? Nah, that ain't happening.
That's willing to take care of me and be my significant other or a husband or boyfriend, but I don't condone to it because I know what I want. I know what I was raised to accept, and I have not met that guy yet.
Did she say I don't condone to it? What the hell?
You don't condone to what?
She caught
y'all talking about? You don't.
She caught that too. Thank you.
You don't condone to it. You get. Oh, wait, no, you said you chose not to because you don't condone to it. What does that mean? What do you don't condone to? That doesn't make sense grammatically. The body language and the hand gestures, she could be the sweetest person ever, but I'm telling you on her first, like just watching it, I don't condone to it and I don't, all that stuff. I'm like just, The second girl had more feminine energy. If I were a man watching this, I would be more gravitating towards the other girl. Just in that short little snippet, she just seemed more palatable. There are some women who are just classless. There are some women who are just toxic or problematic. And
wow. Hey, preach on, baby. Preach on. Because you're right. I mean, look, because we will, you know that sometimes you're willing to take that super fine girl with the super good coochie because she's got super good coochie or as Ching puts it, cocoa melons. She has certain assets that you really like, and you're willing to deal with a little bit of toxicity because there are other things that she brings to the table that you like, at least temporarily. Look, I've been guilty of the same thing, so she's right about this.
I've heard men say, yeah, she brings drama, but she's exciting, or the sex is good because she's just so aggressive, and she's so this, she's so that.
Well, remember you said that, baby, because The same thing applies to women. I absolutely agree with you, but the same thing applies to women. So go back to the earlier part of this video where what you said that you blamed it on the men, but look, sometimes you got to swallow them words.
If you are not a leader, you can't expect for me to follow you. You have to show me leadership qualities. You have to show me that you can be trusted. You have to show me that you can be depended upon. And that way I can let go and let you do what you have to do. A lot of times, Black women, and we get such bad reputations, but we have to deal with boys. Emotionally, mentally, they're just not, they're not there.
Choose better. Remember, again, I like a lot of what she's saying, but you're talking about you have to deal with boys. But in the same breath, we just talked about what Black men have to deal with these girls, these toxic women who are masculine and combative and all these other negative traits. But look, you don't have to deal with boys. Keep it pushing. The moment you understand he's a boy, he's not mature, get moving, get cracking.
Yeah. It wasn't a situation where it's like, okay, now I grew up aspiring to be with a white woman. What the story is typically I grew up, I was in my Black neighborhood, I didn't fit in, the women didn't want me, I would shoot my shot and they would curve me over and over and over again. But then when I went to talk to this white girl, she was vibing with me and we just picked it up and then went from there. So now I date white women now.
And I've heard that before. Me personally, I've always done fine either way, white, Black. And I'm not saying like I'm a 10 or something like that, but I've never really had those struggles. But I do get it. I definitely know Black men who say, Black women just ain't feeling me, and white women or Asian women or Hispanic women are liking him, and he feels good about it. And so that's how he kind of moves in that direction. I understand. I mean, everybody wants to be wanted. Everybody wants to go where they feel appreciated and respected and admired. I get that.
But it's not a situation where it's like, oh, no, I was bred, I was taught since young, and oh, no, I want to be the white woman. Black woman, hell no, I'm good. Now, when the same dude, that nerd, who was lame in the neighborhood, you wasn't given no opportunity, hell no, I don't want to go on no date. Just get away from me. Da, da, da. The same dude 15 years later is a multimillionaire. And now he's dating a white woman, and you looking at him like, oh, it's so loud.
Oh, that is something that is like one of my biggest pet peeves. One of my biggest pet peeves. He doesn't even have to be a multimillionaire. He can be successful in his own right. Because, success doesn't always just come with money, But it's like the minute that person moves to the next level, and if they are with someone who was willing to be with them when they didn't have anything, or when they, when nobody wanted them, now all of a sudden it's he's a sellout. I hear that so often, and it always bothers me because it's like, you didn't want him. You didn't want him.
And now you mad because not only does somebody else want him, but that someone else is better looking than you, has more to offer than you. And now it makes you look dumb because you passed up on a good opportunity that you could have had. And look at you now.
So somebody else wanted him, and now he became something great, and now you want to call this dude a sellout? If you don't care, then continue as you are. But don't complain when a man doesn't want to date you. Don't complain when he looks outside of his community to date. Don't get mad when he says, these are the reasons why I don't date Black women. I've heard some Black women say, oh, these men, they just can't handle me. They're easily intimidated by me. Ma'am, if you are coming across aggressively, you're being toxic, you're being nasty, you're being belligerent. If you're doing all of that, who isn't going to be intimidated by that?
That is real, dude. Think about that. If women are saying men are intimidated by me, how could that be good? If men are feeling intimidated, are you saying that all the men are just weak? Or maybe it's something that you're putting out, maybe it's some dark or some negative energy you're putting out there that you might need to correct and you might need to fix. Because if all these men are intimidated by you, you ain't doing something right, baby. That's all I'm saying.
That's not a boss move. Not for me.
How do you feel about those Black men, not me, but those Black men who say, I don't want to date Black women no more. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to find a different woman who appreciates me, respects me, admires me, loves me. And I'll be with that woman. But as far as Black women, I'm not doing it anymore. How do you feel about that? I personally don't like that. I don't think I would want to shut the door on any specific race, especially my own. But I do understand what some of them are saying and why they're saying it. Leave your comments below. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. We'll see you next time for Richie Rich Abroad. It's your boy Richie Rich. And if you like this video, there are other videos that we have that you'll love too. See you next time on Richie Rich Abroad. I'm out.